Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Hello everyone, Carrie here with the Unicorn Company, coming to you from a small world in the Free Worlds League to review this one. This is the Inner Sphere Pursuit Lance, and the reason we're here for it is because of the fact that just about everything in here screams House Merrick to me. It is part of the Mercenaries Kickstarter. It's not available to the public yet, but once it is, it will be available from Fortress Miniatures and Games for $22.49 with a normal retail price of $29.99. So let's take a look at our first mech, and this is going to be the Hermes II. Now, the Hermes II is actually a derivative of the Hermes, which was a Starleague Defense Force mech, and hopefully one day we get the original Hermes as well as some of the other missing old Starleague mechs. But let's take a look at this one for right now. So looking at the miniature, it has a lot of detail to it, and I do like how they preserved, like, one of the things about the Hermes was the upper chest plates had like this striped look to them in the panel lines, and they were able to preserve that. They also preserved the look of the cannon, and it's no longer, I want to say it was in the middle of the chest on the old miniatures. It is now set off into the torso that holds it. And overall, like just going around it real quick to take a look at what we're looking at overall, it's pretty nice. I do like it. They preserved the wing-tipped feet. I want to say in the original fluff or fiction or however you want to call it, but in the original description of the mech, I want to say these were supposed to be heat exchangers, and they are solid. They don't have any venting on them. So I don't know. I don't remember. That might be wrong. I really might be wrong. I might not be remembering that correctly, but I thought they were supposed to be heat exchangers, and that's what gave it the look and the unique name, or the name was from the unique look at the feet with the little winged footies. But yeah, overall, really good quality. I do like it. There are a few mold lines to talk about real quick. There are very minor ones on the front of the upper leg and on the mech's left lower leg, which will be easy enough to get rid of with a sanding stick or with an X-Acto knife just by pulling it over them. There are also mold lines on the shoulder pads. They are in the corner of the in a hard corner facing inward. Unless you're looking for them, you're not going to see them. When we go to the mech's left side, nothing is really sticking out to me at all. They did retain that look that they've adopted for the flamers, and it does have little fuel tanks around the arm on the forearm, which is what it had when they did the original mech. There is a clip point on the bottom of that left arm, but nothing that is like really bad or anything. It's easily removable if it's sticking up at all. I can just barely feel it. Of course, around the weapons, there is that classic burr that comes with the plastic, which really easy to get rid of, but you don't see it. It's something you can only feel for the most part. Going to the back of the mech, we do have one of those heat sinks in the middle of the upper back for those who like to do their glowing heat sinks, and I totally get that. And then on the mech's right side, everything looks really clean and really well done. Checking the hand, I don't feel any burring there. I don't see any mold lines there. So this is really, really well done. And yeah, I really like the quality of this one. It captures that look of the old Hermes, and it also brings it into the modern era as far as aesthetics. And I do really like that. Going to the Hermes II. Going to the Alpha Strike card, we have the Hermes 2S. It is Hermes 2 2S, I should say. It is 22 points, available from the Succession Wars forward. It's a battle mech, size 2, TMM of 2 with 12 inches of movement. It's a scout. Has 2-1-1 for short, medium, and long. No overheat value. armor of 4, structure of 3, and no specials. Basically a run-of-the-mill trooper light mech. The Hermes II 7A, I need to make sure I make that distinction because eventually they might bring out an actual original Hermes model. It's 29 points, available from the Dark Age forward. It's a battle mech, size 2, TMM of 2 with 12-inch movement, a sniper. This one packs a punch with 332 for short, medium, and long, no overheat value. Armor of 4, structure of 2 with case 2, making it just a little bit harder to get rid of on the battlefield. The next mech we're going to look at is the Cicada. Now, they have stayed very true to the look of the Cicada. I do like it. It gives you that feeling of being a bigger locust, which they have definitely captured here. It's beefier, has that same layout, and looks really good. Now, from the front, there are 2 divots on the front of the little wing-like arms that it has, or flappy arms. I don't know what else to call them. Flappy mech. But anyway, I don't know if those are supposed to be weapons or not. I think there were lasers housed in there, but I might be misremembering. The weapons all look very well done, and they are where they're supposed to be, obviously. There is a clip point that I can see from the front on the top of the mech's right leg. I don't see a mold line running down it though, and on the left leg I can see a mold line on the top outside edge of the upper leg. Going to the mech's left side, everything looks nice and clean. Nothing really sticks out to me. I do like the fact that they were able to mold this space that is completely surrounded by plastic through the leg, which is really cool. You don't see that very often. Going to the rear of the mech, the heat sinks are there. They look decently nice. There's not a lot to talk about on the back of this. It's not like they have a bunch of jump jets or anything. There is a mold line at the top of the leg that runs down almost to the knee, back of the knee joint. Not really bad or anything. It's going to be easy to remove. And then the back of the right leg looks fine. And come back around to the right side. Everything looks good. The cockpit glass is easily delineated, and you should be able to paint that very well. It's split into 5 segments. Nice big segments that you can see where you're supposed to be painting them. So overall, the Cicada looks good. I like it. It's very well done, very detailed, and it feels right. I don't know how else to put it. It's like one of those weird things when you're talking about miniatures, like stuff either feels right or it doesn't. This feels right. So looking at the Cicada, it has a Alpha Strike card with first the 2A model. It's 22 points. It's available from the Star League forward. It's a battle mech, size 2, TMM 3, movement of 16, scout. Short 2, medium 1, long of 0 with no overheat. Armor of 2, structure of 3 with a special of energy. So even though it doesn't have a lot of armor and has more structure, that energy will help make it a little bit more resilient. The other one we have on this card is the 4A model, which is 37 points. It is available from the Dark Age forward, and it's a little terrifying. It's a battle mech, size 2, TMM 4, movement of 20 inches, striker, 320, so hits a little bit harder than the older model. No overheat, armor of 4, structure of 2, also with energy. It doesn't come into play as much because you only have 2 structure, but with a movement of 20 and a TMM of 4, this is going to be something to watch out for from Inner Sphere forces who want to have that same magic ability as the clans do with the Dasher, although it cannot ferry battle armor unless they have X-Mech. The next model we are going to be looking at is the Clint, and the Clint I was a little worried about because it very much had the danger of falling into what I call the enforcer effect, which is where media mechs all start to look the same, which you will see a lot of the same elements from the enforcer on some other mechs in the Clan Invasion Kickstarter. Luckily, it does not. It retains the classic Clint head, which I'm sure had to be a nightmare to make sure it looked nice and modern, with nice big delineated cockpit windows. The autocannon looks absolutely scary as large as it is compared to everything else. The back has all the jump jets and it has a few heat sinks, so you can do the glowing heat sink stuff if you're into that. And yeah, I mean, overall, it's a good miniature. Let's talk about the stuff that you're going to have to clean up. Now, starting with the left arm from the front and looking at it from the top, it's actually really clean. You're not going to have a lot of cleanup there. No, that's a detail. I don't see the mold line on the mech's left leg on the front. I might just be missing it. On the right leg, I can like see a hint of one, and if I run my finger over it, I can feel it, but you're not going to see that unless you really look for it. When we get to the mech's right side, or sorry, left side, so it's the left leg where I can feel that. When we get to the mech's left side, you can see where they hid the mold line in the back of the arm along a hard corner, which is easy enough to remove. Otherwise, it looks really clean. No complaints. On the back of the mech, you can see a clip point at the top of each leg, which is no big deal. Those are easy to clean up. Nothing sticks out to me back here. Everything is well detailed. And then on the mech's right side, once again, okay, so I can feel burring at the end of the gun barrel, but I don't see the mold line and I don't feel the mold line. So that is always very good. You can see the remnant of a clip point on the bottom of the elbow, but that is it. So overall, very well done. I do like that it did not fall into the trap of looking like just another enforcer. And I think Catalyst did a wonderful job with the redesign of the Clint. Um, I've never been a big user of the Clint, but I like how it looks. So looking at the cards for the Clint, the first one we have here is the CLNT 2-3T. This is available from the Star League era forward. It's 21 points. It's a battle mech, size 2, TMM of 2, movement of 12 jump. It's a striker. Short and medium of 2, long of 1, no overheat value, armor of 2, structure of 3, with no specials. So nothing really amazing, just your standard run-of-the-mill Clint. The other one is the 3-4T model. It's 24 points. This is available from the Dark Age forward. It's a battle mech, size 2, TMM2, movement of 12 jump, striker. 220 for short, medium, and long. The 0 does have an asterisk. No overheat value. Has armor of 4, structure of 2 with case 2, flak of 000, all asterisked, and reflective armor. So it might have a chance to help you with airborne units that you face down, but it's one of those, it may or may not do damage. So, yeah, fun little thing there. Overall, I mean, they're both, I don't know, I think I would take the 3-4T simply because of the case too, but not really much else to say on it. Solid little mech, but I'd rather have that Cicada, to be fair. Now, finally, we're going to look at the one that I think is the most interesting looking, and this is the Dervish. The Dervish has never looked good to me. I just never liked it. And it's not that I don't like the mech, it's just that I haven't liked the artwork for it. This, I think, changes that for me. So, looking at it, just overall, they retained the look of the head without it looking weird on the new style. They brought it into that style very, very well. Um, the arms, the torso is being dominated by the missile launchers. And of course, the jump jets, they're a different style of jump jet from what we've seen so far. And I think it's really, really cool looking. And in fact, there are heat sinks on the back that are pretty large, and you can actually do that glowing effect really well with some OSL because they point towards the back, but also point downwards. So you would get like OSL on the top of the legs from the upper back. Looking at it for mold lines and stuff, a little bit of a burr on the mech's right arm on the inside of it towards the front, and also on the bottom, which you can see a mold line on the inside edge of it, but it's easily removable. None that I can see on the front of the torso, although on the top, right behind where the shoulders are, it has a little bit of a mold line there that's once again easy to remove. The right arm does not have the same mold line, except on the back of the elbow, it has a little bit of one. The rear of the torso looks nice and clean. Nothing over top of the heatsink details. There's a little, looks like a tiny bit of a clip point above the one on the mech's right side. Also, there's a clip point on the top of each leg, which is normal. Leg mold lines, like front and back, there's barely anything there. It's done really well. Um, I don't, this would not require a lot of prep work at all. And then the mech's right arm, like I said, you have that little bit of burring around the front, but otherwise, it's really well done. And I do like the look of this. It looks more intimidating than the older versions. And the way they have those missiles just dominating the torsos on the side, just make you feel like this is like a smaller version of like a um, archer, where the torsos are dominated by those missile launchers, and these are done in a different way. They're open. They don't have like little flippy doors on them or anything like that. And I think this is probably the best rendition of the Dervish that I've ever seen, even though I've never been a big fan of the Dervish. So looking at the cards for the Dervish, we have the DV6M at 30 points. This is available from the Star League forward. It's a battle mech size 2, TMM2, movement of 10 jump, missile boat, short, medium, and long of 2, overheat of 1, armor of 4, structure of 5 with indirect fire 1. I think it costs as much as it does because you're essentially paying a movement tax. And the TMM2 also sort of bumps that up a little bit. And then we have the 7D model. And this is available from the Succession Wars forward. It's 36 points. It's a battle mech size 2, TMM2, movement of 10 jump, missile boat, 332, no overheat, armor and structure of 5, with case, indirect fire 1, and LRM 111. So a little bit more effective than the older version, and I think it's maybe worth those 6 points, but there are other mechs that are better in that area. So yeah, that's the Dervish. All right, so this is where I ask you to help support the channel, and there's a few different ways to do that. First of all, hit that like and subscribe button if you do enjoy this content, and that way it will tell YouTube that you enjoy it, and hopefully that other people will as well. Also, you can support the podcast by going to our Patreon at patreon.com/unicorn company and becoming a patron for as low as $1 a month. And of course, you can visit one of our wonderful sponsors. The first of these is Fortress Miniatures and Games at fortressminiaturesandgames.com. They have just about anything you need for BattleTech. Also, they are always fast with shipping, and I highly recommend them. And I'm not just saying this because they pay me to, but because in my experience, they absolutely are, and they are pretty much my go-to for BattleTech stuff when I'm ordering online. Also, you can visit our other sponsor, Discrapyard.org, who we are an affiliate with. Every order that you make from them helps us out a little bit. They have a variety of BattleTech themed dice, including movement dice. Also, they have dice for other games as well. So if you're looking for dice for just about any game, they'll have something for you there. You will find links for our Patreon as well as our wonderful sponsors in the description. All right, so that is everything for today. I really do hope you enjoyed this episode. I want to thank our sponsors and our patrons for supporting us and helping to make this possible. And until next time, this is Carrie signing off. I want to thank all of our patrons and sponsors. Starting off, we have at the rank of Captain, Sarah. Then we have our Mercenary Review Bonding Commission representative, also known as our sponsor, Fortress Miniatures and Games. We then have our lieutenants, Boy in a Box, Haley, and Nathan. Our sergeants, Blind Zen Archer, Gus, Faz, and Steven. And let's not forget our cadets, NB Kaiju, Jamie, and Scott. Thank all of you for supporting the podcast and the channel. And if you would like to support us, and you can go to patreon.com/unicorncompany, where we have a number of tiers. One might just fit you. So thank you all very much and have a good day.